When a germ enters the body, the immune system comes into action and starts the operation. Eradicate germs. That's great, but what if the same kind of response gets triggered on eating a slice of good old pizza? As you can imagine, it won't be pretty. Stay tuned to the end of the video as we look at celiac disease, its causes, the 5 most common signs, and the possible treatments. So without wasting a moment, let's jump right into it. What is celiac disease? When the body starts identifying gluten as a possible threat and activates the immune system to deal with it, it is known as celiac disease. If you don't know already, gluten is the protein found in wheat, barley, rye, and oats. What happens when the immune system activates? As the immune system identifies the presence of gluten, it creates toxins that destroy the finger-like lumps inside the small intestines, called the villi. It's like firing a rocket to take out an ant in your house. These small protrusions are responsible for absorbing nutrients from the food into the bloodstream. Once the villi get damaged, not only does the nutrient absorption get disturbed, it can even lead to permanent intestinal damage. According to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, 1 in 141 Americans are suffering from this condition. How do you know if you may also be suffering from it? Well, the best bet is to go for blood tests. Some of the blood tests that are commonly performed to identify celiac disease include complete blood count, or CBC, liver function test, and cholesterol test, among others. However, there are also many symptoms and signs associated with celiac disease that can also give you a clue. Let's look at the 5 most common signs of celiac disease. Number 1. Bloating and gas. One of the more common symptoms of celiac disease is bloating. Gluten in wheat can lead to inflammation of the digestive tract, which can cause bloating and other digestive issues. According to a small study, 9% of people diagnosed with celiac disease experienced bloating. However, the good news is that the condition is not permanent and usually goes away by following a gluten-free diet. But don't just expect bloating and other digestive issues with celiac disease only. Gluten doesn't need reasons to cause digestive problems for you. The bloating might also be due to the buildup of gas, and guess what? Gluten might be to blame for that as well. It is so common a symptom of celiac disease that in one study of 130 children with celiac disease, 47% experienced increased flatulence. However, the buildup of gas is not just associated with celiac disease. It can also be caused by conditions like constipation, indigestion, lactose intolerance, and irritable bowel syndrome. Number 2. Diarrhea. Another uncomfortable sign of celiac disease is a leaky gut. In fact, it is one of the first and most common symptoms of celiac disease. How common? One study suggests that around 43% of people with celiac disease have diarrhea. This again, not a permanent condition, and usually gets resolved by cutting gluten from the diet. If you are suffering from diarrhea but the blood test didn't diagnose celiac, don't be surprised. Diarrhea could be caused by many conditions like infections and food intolerances, like lactose intolerance. Find the source of the problem and cut that off. That's the only way of dealing with this. Number 3. Fatigue. Feeling lethargic after a full day at the office is normal, but feeling drained out and unmotivated all the time is a sign of celiac disease. How does celiac drain your energy? Let's look at the main ways that celiac disease can lead to reduced energy levels. One study suggests that celiac can lead to sleep problems that can contribute to fatigue. Untreated celiac disease can cause small intestine damage, which is associated with vitamin and mineral deficiencies. These deficiencies are also commonly linked to fatigue. Since fatigue is a fairly common symptom of many other conditions like infections, depression, thyroid problem, and anemia, it is very difficult to pinpoint celiac disease on just the onset of fatigue. Number 4. Weight loss. A sudden weight loss may be something to celebrate for overweight people, but it is also a cause for concern. A rapid weight loss is not a normal thing, and more often it is associated with health conditions, one of them being celiac disease. What's the connection? Well, the person suffering from celiac disease experiences problems with the nutrition absorption ability of the body, which can lead to malnutrition and weight loss. A study found that around 26% of children with celiac disease had a low body mass index or BMI. Similarly, another study found that weight loss was the most common symptom in adults with celiac disease. Just like the intake of gluten and celiac disease can lead to weight loss, the reverse is also true. By restricting your gluten intake, the weight can be gained back. A study in 42 children with celiac disease found that by curbing gluten from the diet, the body weight and BMI increase after 1 year. Number 5. Anemia. A lack of healthy red blood cells causes iron deficiency anemia. In this condition, the oxygen doesn't reach the entire body, which is characterized by fatigue, weakness, chest pain, and headaches. Since celiac disease interferes with nutrient absorption, there is a high likelihood that it can lead to iron deficiency anemia. One review found that around 40% of people with celiac disease also had iron deficiency anemia. Similarly, another study found that out of 455 children with celiac disease, 18% had anemia. And another similar study concluded that out of 727 celiac patients, 23% were anemic. So there's a strong connection between anemia and celiac disease. But it is not the only cause. Other common causes of iron deficiency anemia include a poor diet, blood loss, and long-term use of pain relievers like aspirin. Is there a treatment? Unfortunately, following a gluten-free diet is the only option. Once gluten is not consumed for a sufficient period, not only will the symptoms stop, but the internal damage can also heal over time. And it's not a long period either. The improvement can be observed within a few weeks of cutting gluten out. Children, due to their miraculous recuperating abilities, usually make a full recovery. The adults, however, shouldn't expect to return unscathed after the celiac onslaught, even after cutting gluten out. But the good thing is that the symptoms decrease to a great degree in children and adults alike. It is important to note that the quantity of gluten is not a problem here. Even a small amount of gluten can lead to intestinal damage in celiac patients. So there's no option but to cut off gluten completely. Well, if I can't eat gluten, then what am I supposed to eat? I'd figured you'd ask that. Our traditional diet is indeed loaded with gluten, and it can be tough at times to manage your diet around it. However, you need to take off your glasses and wipe them clean from the food biases that you have, and then look again. I'm sure you'll find plenty of gluten-free food. That is not only awesome in taste, but also is full of essential nutrients and minerals. A celiac patient should also be able to eat a well-balanced diet, right? First off, a lot of common foods like meats, fruits, and vegetables don't have any gluten to begin with, so you won't have to drastically change your diet to go gluten-free. As for the gluten-containing foods that have become almost like a part of you now, it's all about making replacements. For example, wheat flour can be replaced with bean flour, rice, soy, or potato. Great taste and a lot less painful to digest. Some of the gluten-free foods include nuts, peas, legumes, corn, potato, vegetable, seeds, and meats. The biggest challenge with being a celiac patient comes when eating out. Although cooking the food yourself is a preferred option, you will also need to learn to adjust to eating outside your home. However, with a little guidance from other celiac patients and a little perseverance yourself, you'll start recognizing the gluten-free food, and you won't have to rely on the waiter's judgment anymore. But I don't want to miss out on gluten. Is there any possibility? Lucky for us, we live in the age of science where nothing is impossible. The research is going on in full swing to investigate the possibility of a future where celiac patients could enjoy food without worrying about its gluten content. Let's look at 3 such promising research areas. 1. Pills that would make the small intestines less permeable to gluten, thus reducing its toxicity. 2. Pills that would break down the gluten in food before it reaches the small intestines. 3. Drugs that would stop the inflammatory response of the intestine to gluten. These research domains are fascinating, but still too soon to start celebrating. Will it become a reality? We'll let the future be the judge. Finally, to summarize, celiac disease is a condition in which the body becomes resistant to gluten. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, oats, and rye. It triggers an immune response that attacks the small intestine. This can lead to many problems, like malabsorption of nutrients, digestive problems, and even permanent damage to the small intestine. Some of the common signs of celiac disease include bloating, diarrhea, weight loss, and anemia. Unfortunately, the only treatment for this disease is to get rid of gluten from the diet. There is no way around it. But the future looks promising as new research is taking place in this domain that might allow even a celiac patient to enjoy a normal pizza. We hope that you benefited from this video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video with your friends and family. Want to see more videos like this one? Please subscribe to our channel, Welcome to Wellness, and press that bell icon as well so you never miss another video. We'll see you in another healthy video. Until then, take care.